Hi everyone, it's Sarah. I know I have been not around lately. A lot of things have been happening since my last video. And so, yeah, I moved into a new office space. It's all my own now. As you can see, I have quite a bit of new things that are going on around me. And it's one of the inspirations for this video. I've also been working on adding some more slides to my virtual counseling center. And I try to have that posted on my page on Facebook. So I do have a page that I'll add some articles and things on there sometimes that are interesting to me, or resources that I share with some of my clients, or positive quotes, things like that. So I've been updating, and one of my most recent slides that I want to do is on sensory integration and how important it is to be aware of all of our different sensory needs. Now, I know I've done videos in the past about sensory, and it was mostly for teachers, educators to implement sensory tools in the classroom. But what I do here in my private practice is I do a lot with sensory integration of all ages, and not just elementary, all ages. As humans, our environments can become extremely overwhelming for us. So when we're talking about our environment, we're talking about thinking about what we need sensory wise. So let's talk a little bit about the environment. One thing about my office here that I really love is it's really great neutral color on the wall. I use very muted colors. And if you notice on my lights here, I have them covered so that it's more of a muted type of lighting, because for a lot of people, certain types of light or direct light is very overwhelming, overstimulating for them, and it can actually increase anxious feelings and anxious behaviors, a lot too with our kiddos, especially if you have those iridescent lights, the real bright ones that are just it's not conducive for some people. They get very overwhelmed by that. Color is really important too, using muted tones, softer lighting. One of the things that I would eventually like to add in here, because I've only been here for a little bit, is maybe some Christmas lights to kind of even create, like, if I turned the lights off, more of a dim type of setting that's just more calming, more relaxing for some of the individuals that I see. So I want you to think about lighting. I also want you to think about sense of sound. What kinds of things are in your environment that can be overwhelming sound-wise? So when I'm here in my therapy room, I usually run a white noise of some type, or piano music, something environmental like water running in a stream. That can be really, really helpful to drown out background noise for some people, especially those who have ADHD. They have a lot of background noise in their head, and they need to have something to kind of drown it out so they can focus. Also, it creates a really kind of just soothing environment instead of having like music blasting, or if there's a lot of, traffic sounds, things like that. We have to be really careful about sound. For a lot of people, sound is very overstimulating, overwhelming, and it can trigger panic, it can trigger behavioral symptoms, things like that. So I want you to think about that as well. Something else that I use a lot in my office is, yes, my little aromatherapy. I use some light spearmint scents. I use lavenders. I use eucalyptus quite a bit. There's tea tree, which is also an immunity. So thinking about the smells, for some people like myself, when I do not use chemicals when I'm cleaning, I use all natural products because this chemical smells can trigger nausea, vomiting, headaches, irritable mood. So it's the smell that can trigger a calming response or behavior, or it can trigger a very erratic, panic type of behavior, anxiety in a person. So think about those things as well. Now, we also have to think about what's on the walls, what are things we enjoy, what brings us comfort in our environment. So if you can see, I have some tapestry. I have a lot to do with like my succulents and positive quotes, things like that bring me comfort. Pictures of my family. Those are the types of things that make me feel good. So what is it that makes you feel good that you want to surround yourself with in your environment? Okay. The other thing, sense of touch. What do things feel like to you? You know, things that are soft, things that are comfortable. Those are all important. So like here I have pillows. I have pillows with little sayings, no bad days. This pillow is very soft on this side, and then it can be used as a sensory tool on the other. The chairs that I have are very comfortable for sitting. I also have other options for sitting that promote different types of stimulation for touch. I have stools. I have bouncy exercise balls. And I also have these types of blow up sensory discs that kids can sit on as well. You'll see those mostly more in like a classroom setting, especially if you have a traditional chair and desk. Other things that can help people, and I'm not just talking kids, I'm talking adults, teens, any age, is also using a standing type of desk, or to get up and move around when you're in your environment to help with that physical movement, the vestibular, the touch, all of those good things. Very, very important. Now, when we're talking about sensory fidget types of things, I use a variety of tools. So let's see, I can't turn my camera around, so I'm gonna try my best to show you what I have. So here I have sand tray. Super easy, but it gives a lot of satisfactory, stimulation, working in the sand. I also use different types of sand or rocks, kinetic sand, thin sand, rocky sand, like this. There's now in this tray, there's other things that are going on there, like rocks and seashells. If you can see, I have blocks that are different colors and different shapes. Big blocks. I have little blocks. Also, I have things such as like this. That's a visual stimulation for visual sense. I also have lots of different types of putties that are different textures. This one happens to actually turn color. when it is exposed to heat and cold. The ever popular poppets of all different colors. So as you can see, this one's very bright. This one's very plain, because some people will be drawn to this and some will be drawn to something more elaborate. Things like this ball that movement, the colors, rocks, pebbles, all very important. I have different sizes of types of squishy things. Some of them have a smell, some do not. Clicky types of sensory that are quiet. Traditional, just stress ball. Tangles. For those who like a harder texture, this came with the inflatable disc to sit on, and it has spikes. You can rub it like on your arm for like massage. It can be something in your hand, but it's a little bit harder sensory, so you have to think about the need of the individual. And for some of my younger ones, I will use animals that are stretchy. They can pull and tug on it. They can play with the animal in the sand. Something I just got are these, now a lot of the kids have called them monkey noodles, but I actually bought these, and they're called bungee bands. They're a little bit thicker, and so they have different textures. So this one's more spiky. This one has kind of like little lines, like ridges. Sorry, my glasses keep falling down. And then there's some that are just smooth, and you can twist those, stretch those. They're colorful. So there's a lot of things going on there to help. Something that I will use, I used it a lot as a school counselor. Velcro, either side, but mostly the soft side, or pieces, remnants of carpet that you can put underneath a child's desk. You can, it's soft, you can rub on it. So that's more of that soft stimulation. I have Rubik's Cubes, kaleidoscope. These are little balloons that are filled with like flour, and they're a squishy tool. And then of course I have varieties of silly putty. Other sensory integration tools that I use here in my office are things like being able to draw on different types of mediums like chalk, dry erase, crayon. I also use a lot of like musical things, and like little xylophones, drums, blocks to build with, all different types of blocks, different sizes, different kinds. Another thing that I have here is my fish. Where'd you go, buddy? There he is. Say hi, Cosmo. Yeah, there's Cosmo. Hi.